Good evening. Hand today is 10-9 of spades. So it's a full ring game, but we only have 6 players. We have one limp and then a raise. So limper's playing 86 hands at this point. I'm gonna guess that he is playing extremely wide. Maybe every suited hand. Could be any hand that basically gives him some sort of chance. Minus, say, some of these bigger hands. And then we have this guy, 583 hands, that goes for a raise. Do we have much on here? Not really. Call 2-bet pre-flop from the cutoff. Flop trips checked when pre-flop raise or checked in a multi-way pot. So basically, he called pre-flop with a pair flop trips and then chose not to bet in a multi-way pot. Raise first in, 6-6 from MP. So I think he's probably going to be somewhat a decent range, solid range. Pre-flop raise from technically MP, I believe. Yep, MP, because this player was out. So 13% raise first in, 16%. So we'll say he's probably maybe down to 8s. We'll say suited, broadways. Hmm. 21-14. Hard to judge with those suited aces if he would raise the lower ones or just the mid ones. I think I'm probably just going to leave that as his range. And then we have a fold, and now it's on me. We're button versus MP call. Definitely, we're going to probably be playing something like this. We'll have position. Neither of these two players seem to be overly loose, and even this player seems to be loose. If he calls, that's okay. 3-way pot, we're going to have position. I think we have plenty of ways to play. Not only that, but we have 170 big blinds. Pre-flop raiser has 250. I think it's worthwhile to just go ahead and call here and hope to flop something good so that we can maybe win a big pot. So that's what I did, and then this villain called. He's probably just calling with his entire range here. So let's get my hand. I'm playing 8.9%. I have 118 combos. And we see a flop of 3 diamonds, 7 of diamonds, 6 of spades. So not the best. But we do have some equity, some backdoor draws. We've got a backdoor gut shot, or we have a gut shot draw. We have a backdoor spade draw. Villain 3 checks. I'm going to say he checks 100%. And then we have a c-bet here. He c-bets 64%. So out of this range, I think we're probably going to be looking at top pair plus with our draws, probably gut shots. I'm going to guess based on his range. Also, he's probably going to have these 2-card backdoor draws. Maybe not all of them. Could be. I mean, could be, all of his overcards. Or just like some of the sampling. So 2-card backdoor flush draws. That's probably a little too loose. We'll say just something like that. Gut shot, open-ended, straight draws, flush draws. So 46.6% definitely is going to be skewed more towards like a 1-pair type hand, which could be an overpair. I guess he could be doing his no made hands. So let's say he does it with like these aces, you know, ace queen, ace jack. I think that gets us a little bit better. So like ace king, ace queen, ace jack. Do you think people tend to make a c bet with those hands because they feel like they should win with them? So that's his range. And now we look at it. If I raise, what hands is he going to fold? I think he's going to fold his aces. I don't really think he's going to fold much else. I think if I raise, he's probably going to call. And in fact, I think if I raise, he might end up shoving with some of these over pair hands. So what do I do? With the gut shot, 2 overs, we need 25% equity. I think we could probably just look at this and say we're going to raise our top pair hands. I think we're going to raise our sets. We're going to raise our over pairs. Our top pairs, possibly. Our problem with raising the top pairs is that we get into a situation where if we raise and he calls, which I kind of expect him to do with most of them, we're really just hoping for a low card. Because if a jack, queen, king, or ace, it's going to put us at a kind of a disadvantage, but I still think we're going to need to raise. 4 and 5, I think we're justified in doing pocket pair below because it gives us a pair and a gut shot. And then for our draws, I think in terms of the raise, I think we could probably raise some of our flush draws. So we're going to say 8, 9, open it in straight draw with our flush draws. 9, 10 is that gut shot. So we're going to do those. I think maybe king 10, king jack, king queen. Nuts and seconds. Actually, maybe just all of our flush draws, all of our open and straight draws, all of our gut shots. Both 2-card and 1-card gut shots. Our combos, I think maybe raising that. We're about 50-50. And that means we're checking, or we're going to be folding all the rest of these. So I'm not sure if we're going to be calling. I think it's better just to raise because I think by calling we can hit this range a little bit. So I did range. I raised the 15. It's probably not big enough. But I don't know, 2.5. I think that's gonna get the job done to get villain 3 to fold, which he did. So I think villain 3 is just has so much junk that I think he's gonna be folding. And then it comes back to this villain who calls. So is he gonna call with everything? Maybe. Let's see what he does on the flop. He fold to raise after c-bet 0 out of 1. So he may be just continuing with this entire range here, and I think that's what we'll do. We'll continue their range. So he has 74.2%, 121 combos. We have 51.4 and 111 combos. And then we see a turn of the Ace of Hearts. And that is not a card that really helps us. Villain 4 checks. I think villain 4, I think that card hits his range a lot more. I think overall he's got you can see 73% is these over pairs plus 40% is top card plus, 24% is draws. He's calling. He's calling with all of those, so I mean, at most he's folding 35%, and he can probably call with these pairs because he might think that I don't have, that I'm just betting on the draw. I mean, we are deep, and if I'm gonna be betting, I'm gonna be betting 30 big blinds. So he checks, and I do think he's gonna check 100% of his range here. So then it's on us. What do we do? I think we still bet with our sets. I think we bet with our sets. I think we can bet with our top pair because we just picked up the ace, and then we still have the draw. Pocket pair less than the top card, I think we're going to be checking those, and our middle pair and the weak pair. Our flush draw, I think we can check. We can bet with some of these, but I think we're going to be checking some other ones. Definitely checking our straight 8-9, because I think he's going to be calling with more pairs. So what did I do? I actually checked. So we still have 100% of his range. He now has 106 combos. And then I checked. So let's get rid of the sets, which I think we should be betting. Top pair, I think we're going to be betting. We're going to be betting all of those. Flush draw, I think we're going to continue betting those. I think we're going to be checking our gut shots, one card gut shots. I think that's what we're going to be checking. I even think with like 9-8, we're going to be betting open-ended straight draw because I see weaker hands call. And actually, we could probably get 3 streets of value if the turn is, let's say, the 5 or a 10. So I think that's going to be our checking range, and you can see the checking range just really hurt our overall equity because we would be betting those better cards. River card is a 7 of spades. My equity just dropped. He checks. And once I checked, I think he's going to check quads. I think he's probably going to check a full house. I think he's probably just going to bet 3 of a kind and get paid. I think top pair is probably also, maybe he checks everything. If I bet, does he fold anything? So let's say he checks 100%. If I bet and he calls, it depends on how much I bet. He could call with upwards of 46.7%, with top pair, or he may only call with 10%. So would he call with the lone ace, or would he give me credit for 7? I fired a bet of 20 big blinds, which is, I'm giving 24% equity. 24% equity, and I think I can bet with 3 of a kind. Not sure if I could bet with any of these because I think if he calls, I think he's calling with at least an ace. So I think the only value that I'm gonna have is 3 of a kind, and then you pick a hand or 2 just as a bluff. So that's 2 combos. 2 combos, maybe the 2 combos that I have. And that's probably too generous. So he calls, and again, I think he's going to be calling aces, at least ace. And he had ace 10 of diamonds, so he had this is him. He had ace 10 of diamonds. He wasn't going to fold. He wasn't going to fold the turn. He had the hand that I wish I had. But um, you know, I had 10-9. I think I played it okay. I made the raise. I think if he didn't have ace 10, he's going to fold it. I just think on this hand, I made the play, and he just happened to have the hand that allows him to call. So I can't really complain too much about this. All right, if you like this hand, look tomorrow for another.